everybody, my name is Kari Napoli and I am the Orthopedic Acupuncture Specialist at Energy Matters Acupuncture located in Oakland, California. Today we're going to talk a little bit about shoulder pain. Shoulder pain is one of my favorite things to treat. However, it's the hardest thing to talk about with people who have shoulder pain is how to sleep. Sleeping is tough when you have shoulder pain, and if you're a side sleeper, it's a real bummer because sleeping on your side when you have shoulder pain is really difficult. And admittedly, sometimes it is about trying to get people to stop doing it. So I will not lie to you. If your physical therapist or your doctor have told you with shoulder pain, don't sleep on your side, they may be right. But I'm just going to give you some options you can try. And if they're helpful or you don't irritate your shoulder pain sleeping this way, wonderful. If you do, I'm going to cover the side sleeping component at the end, and we'll talk about how to properly sleep on your, back sleeping component at the end. And we'll talk about how to properly sleep on your back with shoulder pain, and the woeful reality of having to change things. We can talk about that too. All right, so how to try to sleep on your side if you have shoulder pain. Well, if the side that you sleep on, if you prefer to sleep on the side that is affected, I'm going to ask you to consider trying your other side. But one thing you can do to try to take pressure off of either shoulder when you sleep on your side is the many pillows. Many pillows. This is always going to come down to many pillows. So if that's the first step you have to make is buying many pillows, I'll give you a moment to do that. So with the shoulder, we want to create a pocket for the shoulder. We sort of basically want to create a drop space for the shoulder so your shoulder isn't getting squashed. Side sleeping. It squashes many shoulders, not just the injured. So I'll get rid of this so you can really see it. Part of the problem with side sleeping is this effect, right? My head is dropped too low. My shoulder is not only getting squashed upwards toward my neck, it's actually getting shoved forward too of the socket. This is going to usually create a really ripe environment for either chronic pain or perhaps, if you're very lucky in the future, some type of shoulder impingement if you have repetitive stress function or disorder in your life as well. So what we're going to talk about is how to get the pressure off of the shoulder by using basically creating a little pillow fort, right? So the first pillow is the one for the head. I covered this in side sleeping for lower backs. This is pretty much just a truism for all side sleepers. If you're a committed side sleeper, you do not want a thin pillow. You want a thick pillow. You want the pillow under the head and the neck that keeps the head in line with your spine. If the pillow is too small and you start to look like this, you're in the danger zone. So you want a nice, thick, firm pillow for your head if you're a committed side sleeper. If you flip onto your back, I covered that in the back, sleeping for lower back. If you flip back and forth, you don't necessarily want this big, thick, firm pillow, okay? So now what to do for the next pillow piece. And the lower back portion, I talked about having the towel for your lower back. So this is going to be a little bit different. And this is not something you want to use if you tend to flip on to your back and your side. So we'll talk about that in a second. But for the committed side sleepers, you're going to want another pillow. And this pillow is going to be used to create a little drop box for your shoulder. Now, the thickness of this pillow has to be figured out by you. If it's too thick and you're sleeping like, in some sort of modern dance shape, it's probably not going to be great on your back. If it's too thin, you're still going to be crushing your bottom shoulder. So you have to find the right thickness and firmness that allows your shoulder to sit freely in this little drop box. This is roughly the right thickness for me. So do you see how now I've minimized the pressure significantly on my bottom shoulder? If you have shoulder pain, this action is probably going to be rough, yeah? So if you find yourself thinking, I don't want to have my arms straight, I really want to be able to bend, well, then you're going to have a really big pillow here to make sure, and I'm probably going to block my face for a second, so just say goodbye to me for a moment. You can still hear my voice. You're probably going to need a really thick pillow so that your hand doesn't fall too far back, because that rotation in the shoulder is going to make it 1,000 times worse. So you need enough support and a little drop box, and here you are. Now, pillow between the knees, because just because you have shoulder pain doesn't mean your lower back isn't headed for maybe a problem, right? We want to support everything before it's a problem. You still want the pillows between the knees here. And then here you are, beautifully set up with your drop box for your shoulder. Now, If you're sleeping on the affected shoulder, this still may not do it. You still may have a huge problem, you guys. So you might want to try to teach yourself to sleep on the non-affected side, which means that the angry side is this guy. Not supporting him is going to be bad news bears. He is not going to be a happy camper. You have to support him with yet another pillow. So we're going to go ahead and take this pillow. The draping across the body this way is the best. If you go here, it's okay, but it's still collapsing a little bit onto this sort of armpit and pectoral region. This is the best. If you can take this guy across the top of your chest like so, rest your arm on it here. Oh, heavenly. So ideally the affected shoulder's on top if you're a side sleeper. If you want to try to sleep with the affected shoulder on the bottom, if your drop box if these pillows are firm enough and your drop box is, deep enough, it might be okay. But your body's going to tell you really quickly if it's not. And if it's not, you're going to want to try to sleep on the other side. Sleeping on the back. I know it's very sad when you have to change your sleep position. I feel the same exact way. So sleeping on your back, the only mistake I see a lot of shoulder people making is the same mistake a lot of neck pain people make. And that is the pillow that is way too big for your head. So when you have a shoulder problem, if your pillow is too big, actually, let me demonstrate it. If your pillow is too big, look at where my shoulders go. Right? So it's not even that they're falling back. Do you see how they're getting shoved kind of up and forward because this massive pillow under my head? So this is a great way to wake up with shoulder pain, especially those of you who have shoulder pain, but it's not so much the joint. You're actually talking about this whole curve here, right? When that's killing you. This is a great way to make it worse. So you want the proper pillow under your head if you are a back sleeper. Now I can tell you this. For those of you who are side sleepers and you're trying to train yourself to be back sleepers, a couple of things. One, it takes 30 days to form a habit, so be patient. Two, if you keep rolling onto your side in the night, you have a couple options. One, and waking up with shoulder pain. One, you can pack yourself in with pillows. You can put things on either side so that you can't roll into them. It's a little funny, but it works. Two, you could put things on your arms. So I used to have a teacher that when people slept on their bellies and he was trying to teach them not to, he'd have them put a golf ball in the front pocket of their shirt. So whenever they rolled on their belly, it hurt. They got rolled off. You could do something like that. You could get little armbands and put like golf balls on your shoulders. So every time you roll over, you're like, oh no, I'm not going to stay there. So you can set yourself up to be triggered in the night so you roll back onto your back. But it takes 30 days to form a habit. So last but not least, when you're learning to sleep on your back, the pillow under your head is different than the pillow under your side. You want a pillow under your head that allows your forehead and your chin to be in a neutral position here, yeah? If my pillow is too thin, I might look like this. And you saw what happened when my pillow was too thick, right? I don't want either of those. I want my head in line with my spine, and I want a neutral position between the forehead and the chin. And then the shoulders are no longer here. They're relaxing back. Position with your hands. You're going to have to figure that one out for yourself. You may like them palms up. You may like them on your belly. Shoulder folks, ideally, this is not great. So if you are in the habit of doing stuff like this, guess what? A pillow. You can put a pillow kind of against the wall in the baseboard, sort of here. I don't have anything, so pardon me while I hold it. So it's going to be here so that when you throw your arm over, you actually hit that instead of dropping in this position where your hand goes to sleep and your shoulder's killing you. So there's just a few options of how to sleep when you have shoulder pain. Let's get up properly, turning to one side and sitting up. Shoulder pain stinks. Having to learn how to sleep differently stinks. I'm not going to tell you differently. I'm going to agree with you on that. But ultimately, it's for the best. Feeling better when you wake up and being able to sleep fully and deeply is the only way our bodies heal properly. So if you're someone with shoulder pain and you want to go ahead and give these a try, please do. And if you want to communicate with me about how they worked out for you, go ahead and email us here at Energy Matters and let me know. I love hearing your success stories and I love hearing your suggestions. If you have a friend that has shoulder pain that's struggling to sleep, go ahead and send this video to them. Let's see if we can get them sleeping better so they're less crabby at your coffee dates. Lastly, orthopedic acupuncture is phenomenal for shoulders. It's why it's one of my favorite things to treat. Frozen shoulder, rotator cuff injuries, all of them. Love them. Bring them in to me if you've never tried orthopedic acupuncture. So if you want to check us out, contact us at Energy Matters in Oakland, California.